In an explosive debate on Talk TV, Reform UK's first Essex councillor, Jay Masiver, delivered a devastating takedown of human rights lawyer Shiv Khan over the migrant crisis. Masiver revealed how British veterans are living in squalor while illegal migrants enjoy luxury hotel accommodation. He exposed the shocking truth about grooming gangs and sexual assault cases linked to migrant hotels, leaving the human rights lawyer speechless. The councillor's powerful words exposed how the British state is putting its own citizens second while prioritizing illegal arrivals. This is the confrontation that has everyone talking. Before this, I want to say a big thank you to all our supporters who helped us reach our very first 1,000 subscribers. That achievement truly means a lot and inspires us to keep giving you our best. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. Most people who watch our videos aren't actually subscribed. We know life gets busy, but subscribing is completely free and it really helps us grow. Our next goal is 3,000 subscribers, and with your support, we can get there even faster. You can also...
people like Jamie have been putting pressure on the government. They took the government essentially to court. They managed to successfully have this hotel, the Bell Hotel in Epping, well, basically vacated in the future for having illegal migrants due to an infringement on the planning licence that was on the site. Isn't this a victory for common sense? People are sick to death, right, of these hotels?
Yeah, I mean, quite a lot to say there, obviously. I'm not sure about, common sense. But the point is, I mean, just to start with, obviously, I'm no fan of keeping asylum seekers in hotels. I think it's shameful, disgraceful. Ever since, the Tories started doing this a few years ago, I think so many of us have been opposing it. Then we lock them up in random places where they can't leave, they can't work, they can't study.
Sharif, sorry, can I just check something?
And so that's the first thing is, I'm not supportive of hotel accommodation anyway.
But Sharif, are you saying that you support just everyone who's coming across on the small boat should just be granted indefinite leave to remain?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I don't think the immigration status that we give them makes a huge difference. I mean, I don't.
So you'd allow people to work. You'd allow illegal migrants who've crossed the channel to enter the workforce.
No, I mean, I don't know why are we saying illegal immigrants? That's the point.
Well, they've broken the law, Sharif.
They love their country, but they love their kids far more, and they're worried about their children and their safety, and that's why people are protesting across this weekend and why they've been doing it peacefully in Epping. To answer your point, first of all, government policy, by the way, is to remove people from hotels. But I take big issue with what the previous guest has just said, because how on earth can you suggest they're living in ghettos? I can show you a ghetto. A ghetto is where homeless British veterans get put when they're found on the streets. They're horrendous HMOs that local authorities put them into, or hostels, where actually many people who've had drug addictions and things end up wanting to check out of those places and prefer to be homeless because the British state puts British people second and illegal migrants first. The hotels like the Bell Hotel are in no way squalor and they are in no way ghettos. In fact, there was actually just yesterday a Daily Mail article showing plenty of Selfridges bags in one of these illegal migrant hotel rooms. And also, they are not asylum seekers. Can we stop calling them asylum seekers? It is insulting to people that legitimately apply to come to Britain. An asylum seeker...
Obviously, Baroness Casey, in her audit of grooming gangs, said more and more illegal migrants are showing up in grooming gang cases. We know, obviously, of other hotels where people are being investigated for other criminal activities. Don't you accept that these hotels are a hotspot for criminality, are they not?
No, I mean, the first thing is, like I said, I mean, I'm not opposing the use of hotels. I'm just saying what exactly I was celebrating. The point is now, I mean, like Jamie just said, now if we start putting them in HMOs or hostels, are the mums of Epping going to be fine with that? An HMO right next door? Is that what we're saying? Rather than having 100 of them in one building where we know where they are. They'll be spread around Epping and other towns now. Is that what we're saying?
No,
so,
we want them detained and deported. And we want them to be treated like illegal migrants. They've broken the law. They should be treated as law breakers, and they should be deported back to the countries they've come from. And this argument that we can't deport people to certain dangerous countries is ridiculous.
But obviously, you've said that you two are against use of hotels. You've said that obviously HMOs won't be desirable for the public either. So where do you think we should put them? What would you do?
Well, like we've done with the Ukrainian asylum seekers, like we do with others. I mean, the asylum seekers that we like. Just in the community. I mean, let's just start accommodating them. Let's allow them to, like all of us do, we live a normal life. We're not how many of us are a burden on the government? That's the whole point. Allow them to work, allow the, if they speak English, they'll get a, better job. If they don't, they'll get a job according to their skills, their abilities. So that's what, like all of us do.
Sheree, can I just, interject quickly? Because you said they're like the Ukraine scheme, okay? Are you suggesting we have a scheme where people voluntarily open up their homes to allow their spare bedrooms to be used? The difference between the Ukraine scheme and the illegal migrants is Ukrainians weren't burning or throwing their documents overboard to sink into the bottom of the English Channel to avoid us knowing who they are, where they've come from, were they? Ukrainians told us who they were. They provided documentation, so we know where they're from. We know who they are. We know who their family relatives are.
And that's the thing, because for the first time, I don't know, in decades, we actually sent flights there and we processed people from the, the war zones and brought them over. And like Jamie's just saying, that's what we should, people who apply legally. But what's people who should apply legally?
I think on recent figures were fighting-age men coming over.
This is the hypocrisy.
Because if they're going to, like Jamie's saying, if they have to travel half the world and cross so many borders, it's going to be the men. If we
that's
send
nonsense.
planes
Come
there,
on.
like we did with
What
Ukraine,
father would leave their daughter in a country that they thought was so fearful that their daughter could be raped or their daughter could be killed? I wouldn't leave my daughter in a country that was like that. I'd take her with me.
But why didn't that happen in Ukraine? Because we actually sent flights there and we took
Because the men stay and fight for their country rather than flee it.
The men are fighting for Ukraine, and at the same time, Ukraine was literally invaded by Russia.
And this is, I must highlight, this is the stark hypocrisy, I'm afraid, of people on the left of British politics at the moment. You worry about women and girls in their town that I live in. Start worrying about our own citizens, British young girls. There has been the wholesale rape of British young girls in our country under the watch of the previous government and this government.
Now, some would say, finally, reforms plan for mass deportations. Jamie, very quick reaction from you. How do you respond? Is this alone the golden ticket to Nigel Farage entering 10 Downing Street in 30 seconds?
I think Nigel Farage has already got the golden ticket to enter number 10 Downing Street, but what this does is give him a huge gust of wind behind him to make sure he sails into number 10 Downing Street at speed, because what this is what the British people want. A government that is going to control its borders. We're going to arrest people, we're going to detain people, and we're going to deport people that enter the country illegally.